At Grid right now, we're collaborating with VPVA on a series of games called In Their Shoes, which puts players in the shoes to take on the identity and roles of people that are in abusive relationships.
VPVA is the Office for Violence Prevention and Victim Assistance, and we primarily support students who have been affected by interpersonal violence. So that looks like domestic violence, partner violence, stalking, harassment. The In Their Shoes game is a really great opportunity to break the stigma around domestic violence and sexual violence. There's a lot of stigma around why people stay, why people don't report, why people don't leave.
They are really difficult conversations that we're having, and so to make it a game allows students to have some distance between the topics that we're talking about while still being able to recognize, oh, I may not have had this experience, or I may never have talked to anyone who had this experience, but through the game, they're able to see the ins and outs of what it looks like to be potentially in an unhealthy or abusive relationship.
Collaboration is everything at Grid and for this project. First, we get the script from VPVA, which includes the whole story, which includes the characters that are in the story, the environments, the events that happen. And what we try to do is we break down the story into art assets and components. And the process of doing that is trying to understand the story, trying to understand who the characters in the story are.
Grid has a lot of fantastic ideas. When we wanted to create this game, it was really more of a one-dimensional video slide, I'll say. I didn't have the creative vision for what it could potentially become, and they had a lot of really fantastic ideas. It was really interesting to be able to see how we could bring this vision to life and use their expertise to create a program that will really speak to our students.
Being part of this project feels like you are helping people. It's not only just a creative outlet for me, but it also reminds me that there are people who need help and who need their voices to be heard. And it's amazing that even with something that would be silly like video games, you can actually broaden your perspective on what other people are going through.
Seeing like my work kind of being used, or our work being used for educational purposes and for training is definitely rewarding.
Grid's mission is to empower the community through games. A lot of the games out there currently don't really focus on all of these heavy topics that VPVA focuses on. I think there is definitely a place for educational games, and I think Grid is filling that space.